welcome to my channel, Bountiful Life. Today I just got back from a little sort of surprise work trip to the United States. We have recently sold our house, so we're officially here in Puerto Rico now. And so I went to go ship some things, and it was cold. And all the reasons we wanted to move to Puerto Rico were reminded during my trip. But I'm happy to be back here in Puerto Rico, and I'm going to do a little farm tour. I tried to do a little farm update tour before we left of my city farm, but what happened was I ran out of storage on my phone. So since I've got a few things resolved now, let's go ahead with the tour. So you know, I had originally done this, pruned this all up and fertilized all these, and we're starting to see the fruit of that in here. If you come close, you can see that there are some bananas or plantains right here growing. So when it stops making more rows, you're supposed to hack off this thing here, but I wanted to wait until I came back because I didn't want them to ripen when I wasn't here to see the harvest. So I'm going to go ahead and hack that today and just add it to the compost there. And this place obviously needs pruning again, which I'm going to do tomorrow, but I wanted to show you how I chopped that to start with today, and then I'll show you again when they're ripe. So that's very exciting. All the work I put into this, we're finally yielding some fruit. Okay, here, what we have now, this is a coconut tree that I got from my neighbor Carmen, and I put this in the ground, and it's starting to go a little bit. It's taking a little while. These are the oreganos that I had originally put in. They were very, very sad when I put them in, but they're doing good now. This has like vine weeds growing on it that I'll have to yank out tomorrow when I come to work. My cucumbers did really incredible. They gave me like 5 or 6 cucumbers, maybe more than that. But then they got this like weird mold looking stuff, and the blossoms were like falling off, and it was just really yucky, and I didn't have time to even think about it or deal with it, so I mostly just left them to die. But apparently this one, which is the second one, threw me off some more cucumbers while I was gone, and there's still even another cucumber here that's growing, so that's funny shaped, but it's still pretty good. Oh, there's another one down here. Look at that. Yeah, like little weird, little pointy cucumbers. Okay, so those were doing good, but they're mostly done. I'm going to start over some new ones. And let's go over here. See the tomatoes. These were cherry tomatoes that I had originally put, I think I had these maybe in the first video on seed starters. These are regular cherry tomatoes, and you can see there's some ready there. This was the plant that my friend gave me from the farmer's market. We've got about 5 or 6 tomatoes, and there's another one there that's getting ready. This is seeds that I saved from these little tiny yellow tomatoes that my friend had given me to eat from the farmer's market. They were so good. I saved some seeds, and here it is. But I started this plant from seed, but I put it in a pot because we may or may not be moving, and I wanted to be able to take it with me. Okay, over here we still have this one that I rescued from the trash, and I still have intentions of putting in the ground at some point, but my husband had actually hacked open the bucket for me, but it got dark that night and I didn't get it done in time, so I'm like, let me just put it back in here so we can water it. Here is my lovely cocoa tree from my friend at the Airbnb, and this one still in the pot because I'm a bad plant mom, but this one really helps me a lot. It helps me hold down my laundry when I put my laundry rack out here, and it's really growing good. It's throwing out some more leaves, and it's not dying, so I'm happy about that. This here is my canopus tree, not the sad one that I left in the car, but this one is the other one. I put it in a pot, so in case we move, I can be able to take this with me where we go. And I have since, I think my last video, I had moved trees. My neighbor came over and showed me how to move trees, so I had moved some of these babies away from the big trees because they were all so close together. Put one there, put one there, put one there, put one there. So they're all spaced apart, and there's a lot more babies shooting off from a whole bunch of them. There's like one there, and then over here, there's like babies there, there's babies in there. This is actually coffee plants that I got from my neighbor next door. She had like a whole bunch that dropped and went to seed, so I put one of those in a pot. Here's my pineapple that I put in the ground. Seems to be doing okay. This is the palm tree that was going to make me decorations, and it keeps throwing more and more, but they never seem to get big enough to be mature seeds. But there's a piece of trash bag up there in my tree that I have to get my husband to come and get down for me. I have no idea how a trash bag got up there. Not our trash bag, because we use white ones. Okay, those are some more of the trees that I moved. They weren't this big when I moved them. Here is a papaya tree that I got from my neighbor. It was one of the volunteers from our compost patch, and I put this one in the ground. These are parches. May or may not have been in the ground at the last video, but this one's growing. This one needs to go in the ground here in the pot. These are all my parches. I have so many because I planted a half a parcha, and like literally I think every single seed in there grew. There's lots of weeds growing in them, so I need to pull those tomorrow. But I'm hoping to maybe sell these. They're all organically grown, so I'm hoping to sell them. Here's another one of my parches that I put. And here's another one. This was one of the sad ones. This was the sad one that I left in the car. And it's finally attaching itself to the fence. So that is awesome news. Maybe it will eventually go. This was the first parcha that my friend gave me from the farmer's market. Growing crazy since I left. It's got like layers on top of layers. Going on up here, it's going down there. It's all the way down to here. Very, very big and doing well. So I'm hoping this produces for me when parcha season starts. Here's my sad little cane paz tree that I left in the car with the parcha, and the leaves got yellow and it got sad, and it just hasn't really recovered well, but it's growing more leaves, so it seems to be doing okay, but not really thriving like I would want it to. But if we keep watering it, take care of it, it should be okay. This one, a papaya that I bought from my tree guy for $1 at the farmer's market, has a little volunteer decorative plant in there. And this one is another volunteer papaya that I got from my neighbor next door. So it was big already when she gave it to me. I just put it in the pot. This is another one of her coconuts that I put in the pot. Then these were from the last video. This is the one that has that pink flower thing that comes down when it makes a flower. And these are the ones that are going to make little yellow flowers. These are still in the same pots, but they seem to be doing well since I figured out they like the shade, so I put them over here. This is a purple flower plant that I got as a volunteer from the farmer's market in one of the trees I bought. And over here we have growing, I think this is a weed, but we have growing over here, this is a leaf of a medicinal plant that my neighbor had given me, and she's like, you just throw the leaf down in there and put some dirt on it and water it and it'll grow. And sure enough, every little corner where she said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants growing right here off of just that leaf that I threw down. Here is the rambutan tree. I think I bought this at, no, was this the one I grew? This is the one I grew, because actually there were two that grew off of that one seed that I planted. So this was mine that I grew from seed, the rambutan. And this one is one that I bought from farmer's market, but this one hasn't been that happy. I'm not sure about that. Here we have guavas. I just had put a whole bunch of guava seeds in there, and then before I left I took and put the bigger ones out here. So this one seems to be doing okay. They seem like they're doing really well in here, even though it's so crowded, because then I put this one over here and this one wasn't that happy apparently. As now we have another one that's coming out of here. And this, I had grown a tomato, but it had gotten some problems, kind of like the cucumbers, so I just gave up. But while I was gone, we got this volunteer weed that just put itself here. So here we go. This happy little weed that does not belong in my pot. So I'm going to pull that sucker out, because that is not what this pot is for. And here is my lemon tree. I started these from seed, this one, and then there's one growing here, and it seems like there's another one that sprouted over there. So that's pretty neat. The lettuce really didn't do that well. I didn't harvest it. The cilantro didn't do that well. I'm not really that good at those kind of things yet. Here are my pineapples that I had put in the pots. This one's really going to town. And then these are tomato plants that I got from my mom's neighbor Dorothy. I actually got the tomatoes and they were great. They're those big, juicy purple ones and yellow ones, and I saved seeds. And literally, I planted 2 seeds in each one of the little seed starter things. Every single seed I planted grew. I had to give some of them away. Now this one, I don't know what's happening to it, but it has a problem. But the other one's doing well. It's even starting to blossom in the pot. Not quite what I intended, but that's really neat. So. Okay, now over here, all of these, most of these are new. This is the oregano that was growing in the little coffee cup over on the side over there last time. I have since put it in a little pot and it is going crazy. These two are, you know you're a real gardener when you have unknown things growing. Like literally, I don't know what's growing here. It started sprouting and I'm like, okay, I don't know what it is. This looked like a parcha from the beginning, but then I was like, kind of looked like a tree trunk, but now it's kind of starting to look like a parcha, so I'm thinking it might be a parcha again. So we will see what that turns into. And then this one, this might be a weed, I'm not sure, but it seems like there was one growing over there in the gravel on the outside, so it might have just sprouted itself like the other weed. This is actually a Puerto Rican cilantro, which is a native plant here, and it smells just like cilantro, really, really good. But these kind of grow wild, but they're hard to grow, I hear. So we actually found it growing over here where our hose drains. And so there was a guy going to come to paint the house. So I'm like, let me get it in a pot. So here it is in a pot. And my son has since found another one over there. These are some plants that are surprises that my friend gave me. And she thinks they're pepper plants. And then there were more here, but I don't know what happened to the ones here. Seems like they're not doing well. But the ones that I put over there are doing well. This is a basil plant she gave me. This is more and doubled since I left, so I need to really get some tomatoes and start using this, eating some of it. Then this I was super excited about. This is the sugar cane that I cut in the sugar cane cutting video. And so I put it here, and so one end has finally sprouted. So that's super exciting. We're gonna have a sugar cane plant growing here. Yay! This was from that video where I hacked open coconuts and sugar cane, and so this is it. I didn't put it in that day. It took me a little while to actually get it in. These are part of my neighbor's plants. She just cut a piece off and had me put it in the dirt, and here they are, beautiful ornamentals. These are purple parchas, which were not very big when I left, and I put them in these pots. This one has gone crazy. It actually had wrapped itself around this papaya. You can see like right here where I had peeled it off. Here's this little tentacle, or whatever you call those things, and then it had gone up here too. Like it had really wrapped itself like around this thing, but I'm like, no, I can't go there. I'm gonna have to, I was gonna keep this in a pot in case we move, but I think I'm gonna have to put this on the fence because this is just going crazy and trying to attach to stuff. But I still have another one here that's sort of smaller, so that's good. And this papaya also was from my neighbor, one of her volunteers that she gave me. So, was it? No, this might have, no. This is mine, I think. I think this is mine. The first one from my first video that I put in a bigger pot. Yeah, this is my papaya plant that's growing this big. The other one of hers is over there, and then the big one. Yay, this is mine papaya plant. Okay, so this is what I've got going on my farm. As you can see, it's grown quite significantly since my first video. So I hope you like to see all the stuff I'm growing, and I'll continue to make some videos and show you some pictures. Maybe I'll make a little short and put together a bunch of slides of all the fruit we've already harvested off, the cucumbers, tomatoes, and different stuff like that. Because I took pictures as we went, but there wasn't like a massive amount at once. So I can maybe make a slideshow or something like that. We'll see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy my city farm tour. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Please do share it on social media in case your friends want to see some videos like this of Puerto Rico and all the things that I'm doing over here. And also subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me what you like best about this. If there's something you think I should be growing here, you know, ask questions. I really would love to interact with you and see what your thoughts are about what I'm doing here. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.